has done a beautiful presentation, and I want to hear how he gave such a awesome rocking conversation. So, Rajesh, I want to hear from you how your presentation was. You rocked the stage. I want to quickly hear more about that.
Yep, sure.
Yes,
I'm a little
yes.
excited and very thankful about it. So I'll talk a little more today.
Sure, go
Um,
on. Let's hear. How many of you are ready to hear in details about the awesome presentation Rajesh gave? Rajesh, go on, please. Let's hear from
so,
you.
so before, let me start with only 2 years back, I started working in robotics. So when I was asked to give this keynote speech, I didn't even think twice. I said, yes, I will do that keynote thing. So that is the first big mindset, Vishal, because of you
Yeah.
and the coaching I'm going through. So when that opportunities came, I said immediately yes, without even one
Wow.
second of hesitation. And probably because of that, it stayed with me. There was another opportunity where people sort of hinted that maybe our India head can give that talk and I do something else. I said, no, I want to do that. And people sort of respected my statement. And I thought that since I'm working in this area, the keynote would be a better thing for me and something else would be a good fit for him. He happens to be my boss as well. So it was a tricky thing, but I was very confident that I would do this well. And after all that, when the slides were being made, I realized that I don't have a big say in it. There are 13 slides, four of them were mine. 9 slides came through marketing guys. There is no story to tell as a keynote.
Right. The boring
So
stuff.
they're a marketing slide. They are not a keynote slide. And
Right.
then 3 days before, I knew that time that 750 people had paid for that conference, and it's a big auditorium. And then in the night, I was thinking, oh, then somehow even in the night, I was saying, hey, I will do it well. I've done it. I practiced. I will do it well. So there was nervousness hitting me, but I was even in my sleep also. I was thinking I will do it well. And by the time I went to and sat there, again, lot of this coaching. I went in early to sit in that room so that I can see everybody coming in. I don't know, Vishal, whether you remember, but you had told us that if you are there, you will feel like a host. People come in. So when I
Yeah.
saw that room filling in, the nervousness not going up. Contrary to some other speakers I saw when they came in and saw the crowd and the kind of sort of little bit panicky thing they were having. So lot of small things I incorporated. So, and one big thing, Vishal, you told me is to talk about myself. I was not. I was a very private person, so I never talked about anything in my life. So even the story I told is very typical these days. I tell story of my experience,
Right.
and also a few things. So starting with the first one, that start off immediately, don't give all the normal gratitudes and all that.
Right.
Telling what people will expect, tell them what they will gain from it. So I had to really think, and with the slides and the audience in mind, what they will gain. So I wanted to tell them something what they will feel excited about, connection to the audience, and of course I prepared, but with a framework this time in mind. But I thought that the story I will start with and end with also similar to the story, and thank the audience and bring our company's contribution also to forward. So,
Right.
but when I went in, I realized there is no color mic. I had practiced where I will be. When I was
Yeah.
sitting waiting for all those people to come in, I was thinking where I will be in the middle, where I will be in the side, and then they said, "Oh, you are going to be like Sevak, stand and deliver, no footwork." So I was, it was a little bit of a shock. But then all the hand gesture, voice modulation, everything, whatever we have been practicing, I used it. But probably the huge difference between what earlier speeches or keynotes I gave and this one is there was extremely well connection with the audience. I think
Beautiful.
that was huge difference. That was the huge difference. Um, after that, it was like a mini celebrity status, really. I mean,
Wow.
there was extremely well connection. So for maybe because of all the things that we did together, Vishal. So
Right.
every sixth person I was meeting, they were wishing me. And then my boss came and patted my back twice, saying he was there incidentally that time.
Wow.
He had never heard me give any speech earlier, so I don't know what expectation he had. Techie guys don't give good speeches generally, so they read from slides. Typically, we read from slides. So I think that was good. Then the marketing person who had come in, that guy told me 2-3 times that Rajesh, whatever you spoke, people listened and people connected. Incidentally, I asked a question which was actually like elephant in the house, right? So I wanted to know how many people were aware of what we were doing as a company. And I asked that very boldly. Only 6 hands went up. So that was kind of a revelation for the marketing guy, and he was gung-ho about it that I asked that question. So by the way, asking questions is one of our methods of connecting with audience, right? So,
right.
But then after that, a lot of people came and talked to us, both in front of my supervisor and the marketing person. A lot of people came in to just ask questions. The biggest, I think, the best thing I got was there are at least two more speakers. One of them was in the panel discussion. The panel discussion was with very senior people, all VPs, senior directors, and all. One of them actually said that, hey, I will add one more D to what Mr. Mahapatra said. I said the robots are used in 3Ds: dull, dirty, and dangerous. So again, the acronym kind of thing that we use, Vishal. So he said, I want to add something to what Mr. Mahapatra said, the 4D difficult. So and he came in after the talk and came and shook hand with me. I was sitting in the second row. So that's kind of another nice thing. One more person sort of gave a backhanded compliment saying that I don't want to use things to rock my talk, but use the very similar thing what I was using. So there are other instances where people are referring to my talk in not so well, but in a more subtle way. So overall, that whole feeling for 2 days after a good speech, I realized that it can be very fulfilling.
Very good. Let's give a round of applause to Rajesh for making this great thing happen. Absolutely. Rajesh, quick question. What was the duration of the speech or your entire presentation?
25 minutes.
24?
25 minutes. So it was a 30-minute session. 25 minutes for presentation, and 5 minutes for question answer.
And how many people were there in the audience? Just so everybody knows.
750. There were 750 people. It's in
750 people.
I'm in IAS.
Let's give a round of applause. 750 people audience rocking the stage, rocking the speech. And I want to let you know there are 3 important points that I know Rajesh very well, because Rajesh and I were in back and forth messaging before his speech, because he wanted to let me know that he does it, and he has done it fully by implementing all the things he has learned on his own in the program. 3 things, and correct me Rajesh if you used it. Number 1 is learn to differentiate yourself in the first few seconds of the speech. Everybody's going to start in a normal way, and you have to, whether it's asking question, something that makes people think, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. First thing. Second, your confidence speaks more than anything else. Your confidence, meaning you have to be confident. And the third thing is use storytelling. Stories sell your points. Stories are very important. Rajesh, would you agree?
Yes.
Without me asking today, I didn't tell you, but you have used these 3 techniques for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I believe,
so that's
Vishal, from my perspective, telling personal stories is helping me to connect much better. For me, I don't know if it helps for others. For me, it is helping.
Absolutely. That's a very important point. So I just want to say I'm very happy to hear this great win that you have had. And thank you, Rajesh, for sharing this. I saw your text when you sent it, and I was very, very happy.
For all the practice that went in, it was an excellent, actually a speech where I connected to audience really well. So I'm very happy about that.
Absolutely. Remember, powerful speaking doesn't create powerful living, but powerful living creates this powerful speaking. When you master these areas of life and then you practice well, changes, game changes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Rajesh.